One of the trends that we've seen really over the last few years, and it really accelerated over the course of the pandemic lockdown, is this whole move towards digital transformation. But we've also seen the impact on the related shopping behavior. And what we've seen in the way that we talk about it is it's moved from going shopping to always shopping. And I'll elaborate on that in a moment. Go back and you look at traditionally the way that you would approach commerce. It was very transactional or intent-based. Using an example, if my printer broke, I would generally do a little bit of research. I would find a new printer. I would find a site that was going to give me a good deal on it, and I would transact. Again, very intent and search-based. If you think about what causes me to do my shopping, it's inspiration from my newsfeed and what I see in things like Facebook and Instagram. So it's my friends, it's my family, it's the community groups that I'm a part of. It is the artists that I follow, it's the brands that I connect. And the example that I always use is at the start of the pandemic, I was spending a little bit more time online. I love sneakers. And I joined a community group on Facebook called the Sneakerheads of Singapore. And I go to that group, I check it every day. And when I check it every day, it's other people with a like-minded interest and it's nonstop sneakers. As a result, I've just bought a lot more sneakers than perhaps my closet can support at this point. But I do that because I'm inspired by it. But then that behavior is also used to tailor the content that I see across the rest of Facebook and Instagram. People are moving from, just finding products in a very transactional way to the products finding the right people. And so the fundamental challenge that we see for most marketers and most businesses that are out there is they have to think through, well, how can I ensure that the product or service that I'm offering is discovered by the people that are most likely to love it? And how can I make sure that when I'm doing that in a personalized way, how do we make sure that we're respectful around things like privacy? And so that was really the start of Facebook Discovery Commerce and the system that we've recently rolled out to take advantage of that evolution in shopping behavior that we've seen. And so we offer for businesses, really it's a 4-pillar program. And it's about how do I take shoppers from inspiration all the way through to action. That 4 pillars, it is number 1, it's helping businesses understand the personalized engine that you find across Facebook and Instagram. So a very tailored experience in the feed. The second pillar is around how do we make sure that businesses understand the various surfaces that we have and how do you use that to engage in serendipitous type purchases. And so whether or not that's Facebook and Instagram, but it's also things like our video surfaces, it's things like stories, it's things like reels. And then the third pillar is really around using our advertising tools and our conversion tools. And so, we talk about how seamlessly we want to take people from inspiration through to action. And then the fourth and last pillar, it's all about optimization and measurement of the various solutions. And so how do we make sure that the businesses are using the insights across Facebook to optimize for the algorithm, for the placements, for the creative that they're using, and ultimately, obviously, to get the best outcome. Now, we've given you a few examples, I think already, on businesses that are taking good advantage of this in Korea, a few large ones and also a relatively newcomer, so to speak. So a more Pacific, LGU Plus, and then also Dear Claire's, which is pretty interesting in terms of their use of product tags. That's the context for discovery commerce. So a few of the numbers, 90% of all Korean adults surveyed say that they find new brands or products online. 90% is a really big number. 65% of them, they complete the transactions. When they find these products, they complete the actions with less than a day after finding kind of the new products online. Now, the other component of this is the mobile app. And a few substantiation points, a few facts. 82% of all Korean Instagram users surveyed say they use Instagram to help them decide whether to buy a product or a service. Now, Instagram is primarily on the mobile. So Korea has always been on so many different levels in inspiration. It's one of the most tech-savvy countries on the planet. It's got the latest hardware. You take a look at broadband speeds and They're generally amongst the fastest in the world. And so you look around phenomena like BTS or Korean dramas, or even just some of the trends in beauty, it's just a lot more pronounced, and it's emanating out of Korea. It's one of the biggest e-commerce, no real surprise, e-commerce markets in the world. So currently, Korea ranks number 5. I think they did over 100 billion in e-commerce in 2020. We've always looked to Korea as inspiration and a leading indicator of some of the trends that are out there. Now, if you look at things in the context of discovery commerce, we think that one of our differentiation points is the fact that we are at really the crossroads of community and commerce. We also do a lot of work with creators, and we know that that's inspiration for how many people shop. And we also have the benefit of being cross-border. And whether or not me as a user, I want to interact with those outside of Korea, or whether or not I'm a business and I want to leverage the platform outside of Korea, Facebook becomes an awesome way to do that. Yeah, first off, data privacy is really important to Facebook. And it is transparency and control. And so on transparency, we try to make sure that people understand how their data is being used, particularly the fact that we don't sell your data. And then we also want to make sure that we're giving you control over your data. If you look in your own feed and you see an ad, you have the ability to click on an ad and understand why you're seeing that ad. And if you want to go ahead and change those preferences, you have the ability to do that. But we also think fundamentally that personalized ads and privacy, it's not a zero-sum game. This can live quite nicely side by side. And so we think that any move in that balance, that while we certainly want to make sure that we're protecting privacy, but anything that stops these businesses from being able to monetize metrics, that's not good for people because you're seeing things that are less relevant. And so that's not good for the people, it's not good for the business, and ultimately, it's not good for the internet. We think about privacy, something we take very seriously, and we think it can live side by side with personalized ads. The fact that we have the ability to do personalized ads, we think is an enriching experience. When I see, back to the experience that I talked about being part of the sneakerheads group, when I see some advertisement on a new model that's come out, particularly for one that I follow, I love it. It's with the expectation that ads don't have to be annoying and disruptive. They have the ability, if done correctly, to be accretive to the overall experience. In terms of what the future holds around commerce, it's pretty amazing. You know, if you think about the technology that we're working on, whether or not it's artificial intelligence, so using AI to do and test things like visual search. So if I see an artist that's wearing a jacket, and I really love that jacket or the pattern of that jacket, I can use AI to do a visual search to find other things that are available using that same pattern. That's pretty cool. And then you start to think about AR, so augmented reality, and just think about the try-on experience. I go into a shop right now, I'm trying on glasses, I'm trying on an outfit, and there's some aspects of that exist online already, but it's getting better and better and better. And then you think about even longer term, think about Oculus and VR and what's happening with the metaverse. And all of this starts to become interesting opportunities for how commerce is going to evolve. And you know, we at Facebook are looking to be at the forefront of that. Look, discovery commerce, this is the underlying trend that's going on in shopping today. And we're at the crossroads of both community and commerce as Facebook, and we're going to continue to build for that. So thank you very much. Thank you.